Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to have a look at Endgame number 79 from the book 100 Endgames You Must Know by Jesus de la Villa. In this endgame, we are going to have a look at block pawns and key squares. So we have white has a king and a pawn, black has a king and a pawn. Both pawns are blocked on the B file. So here black, for instance, cannot just come to A6 or to C6. So it's white to move. At first glance, it looks like white's king is far away from the action and black will be on time to win this endgame. But however, black is going to lose this endgame. We'll see how it is. So when it comes to block pawns like this, so for example, if it's white's pawn, the key squares for white here to bring their king is C6, D6 and E6. I just have a visualization. If the pawn is on B5, you just need to have three squares above that to the side and three squares this side. Unfortunately, we don't have enough three squares here. We just have one square. So white's king has to come to one of these squares on time, and they will be able to win it. It looks like black is able, and it's the same for black as well. Here, black's key squares are C5, D5, and E5. So how is white going to win this? We'll have a look at it. King G3, white move. After King B7, King F4. Now, of course, black cannot move to C6, so they have to go around King C7. And now, King E5. Here, if black plays King D7, white plays King D5, takes the opposition, and after King D C7 comes to the key square. So as we know, if it's a B5 square, these three squares were the key squares and white is able to come to this square, which means it's winning. So we'll quickly have a look at how it's winning. All white has to do is take the opposition. We have learnt about opposition in the initial endgames. It's very basic. All you need to do is just take the opposition after you take this pawn, and now we know, because it's a b5 square, which means the key squares for b5 pawn is a6, b6 and c6. White is occupying one of those squares, which means it's an easy win for white. In this second example, we do have block pawns. However, here the king that is on move should be able to, for its white to move here. So for example, if here white plays King D6, they lose immediately. This has been explained well in the book Endgame by Mark Dworsky as mind squares. So because so for example, a possible continuation is after king takes e5, king c4, king f4, and as you can see, why black is able to win this endgame. The main reason for that is the initial move king d6. Even though this is a key square, it falls under zugzwang because both kings can come to the key square on time, and there's a zugzwang here. So that is the only thing you have to be aware of. So instead of that, king d7 can be played, and here, if in this instance, if black plays king f5, then they fall into the same zugzwang trap, and here white wins. So this is the only thing you have to be aware of when it comes to key squares, and it's called mind squares. I would strongly recommend reading Mark Dworsky's book Endgame, and he has explained this principle in more detail. In this final example, we have block pawns. However, we have another set of pawns. Here it's black to move. So black plays king h4. So this is a technique which it is well explained in the book Endgame by Mark Dworsky. It's called extending the beachhead. You can use this technique with multiple pawns. This is a very simple example. So after king f2, here king h3 is played by black. So obviously white has to defend the pawn, and here black plays the surprising g3 move. Now it's all about technique here. Black, after capturing the pawn, black captures the pawn with opposition. That means white is not able, and as we know, these three squares were obviously key squares, and black is able to occupy those squares, which means white is losing in this position. I hope you enjoy this video. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and it's bye for now.